Rimuru, the New Beginning as Primordial Demon Violet by Veldanava God. Chapter 20. The wrath of Ultima. The battlefield was silent for a moment, save for the sound of heavy breathing. Michael, now bloodied and weakened, was on his knees, glaring up at Rimuru and Ultima. They stood over him, poised to strike the final blow. Michael. Is this? How does it end? Rimuru, with cold eyes and calculating, raised his hand, prepared to finish the job. Rimuru. It's over, Michael. Just as the final attack was about to land, the air around them distorted. A familiar energy filled the space, sharp and ominous. Rimuru narrowed his eyes, eliminating the presence immediately. Ultima. No, it can't be. Before they could react, a portal door opened in the sky, and from it descended Felway, his expression twisted into a menacing grin. Felway. Did you think you could win so easily? The game has just begun. Michael smirked, his weakened body surging with newfound hope as his ally appeared beside him. Michael. You arrived just in time, Felway. Together, we'll crush them. But in that very instant, Ultima's eyes blazed with fury. Memories of another timeline surged through her mind. Felway, the one responsible for sending Rimuru to the end of space and time. The very thought made her blood boil. Without hesitation, Ultima lunged at Felway, her mana surging wildly. Her attack was swift and brutal, her voice filled with the rage of a past life. Ultima. I've been waiting for this, you won't escape me this time. Felway barely managed to block the initial strike, his eyes widening in shock at the sheer ferocity of her attack. He hadn't expected such intensity from Ultima. Her movements were precise, filled with the calculated fury of someone who had suffered by his hand. Felway. What is this power? You're more than just another demon. Ultima laughed, her eyes blazing with madness and hatred. Ultima. You don't recognize me, do you? I'm Rimuru, the one you banished to the end of existence. Felway's eyes broadened, realization dawning on him, but it was too late. Ultima's next flurry of attacks came at him like a storm, pushing him back, tearing through his defenses. Sparks flew as their weapons clashed. Ultima pushed Felway to his limits. Meanwhile, Rimuru and Michael resumed their battle, the air around them vibrating with the sheer power of their clashes. Michael summoned waves of lesser angels with his Armageddon subskill, but Rimuru slashed through them effortlessly, his expression determined. Michael. You'll never defeat me, Rimuru. You are nothing compared to the legacy of Veldanava. Rimuru smirked, his confidence unwavering. Rimuru. Veldanava? You're nothing but a pale shadow of his will. I fought stronger foes than you, Michael. You're just in the way. With a burst of speed, Rimuru closed the gap between them, his sword glowing with pure, destructive energy. Michael barely managed to block the strike, but the force of Rimuru's attack sent him skidding across the battlefield. Michael, struggling to maintain his composure, summoned his ultimate power. His body began to glow, the king of justice. Michael's skill reaching its peak form. The ground around him cracked under the pressure of his magicule. Michael. I will bring order to this world. You are nothing but chaos. But Rimuru only smiled. Rimuru. I am chaos, and I'll show you why that makes me stronger. Their blades clashed again, each strike sending shockwaves through the battlefield. Rimuru, now stronger than ever after his evolution into the ultimate slime, moved with an agility and strength that overwhelmed even Michael's heightened state. Meanwhile, Ultima and Felway's battle raged on. The ground beneath them shattered as their attacks collided, each blow reverberating through the air. Ultima's strikes were wild but calculated, driven by the fury of her memories. Felway, on the other hand, was becoming increasingly desperate. Felway. How are you this powerful? What have you become? Ultima grinned, her fangs gleaming in the light of their chaotic battle. Ultima. I told you, didn't I? I was Rimuru once, but now I am something far worse. You'll regret ever crossing me. Felway tried to summon his chrono-saltation skill, aiming to warp time and space around Ultima, but she was faster. She blasted through his spell with raw, violent energy, closing the distance between them in the blink of an eye. Ultima. You think you can pull that same trick again? Not this time? She slammed her fist into his chest, sending Felway crashing into the ground, his body bouncing off the shattered rocks below. Gasping for breath, Felway struggled to stand, but Ultima was already upon him, her eyes glowing with bloodlust. Ultima. I'm going to enjoy this, Felway. You have no idea how long I've waited for this moment. Meanwhile, Rimuru and Michael's battle had reached its climax. The two clashed once more, their auras burning brighter than ever. But Rimuru had the upper hand. With one final, powerful strike, he shattered Michael's defenses, sending him sprawling across the ground. Rimuru. It's over, Michael. You can't win this. Michael, panting heavily, glared up at him, his pride refusing to let him submit. Michael. I will never surrender. I will fulfill Veldanava's will, no matter what. Rimuru shook his head, raising his sword. Rimuru. Veldanava's will or not, you're just another obstacle. And I don't leave obstacles in my way. With one swift motion, Rimuru brought his sword down, aiming to end the battle once and for all. But before the blade could connect, a burst of energy erupted from Michael, sending Rimuru flying back. Felway. Not yet. Felway, his body battered and bruised from his fight with Ultima, appeared beside Michael, pulling him to his feet. Felway. We won't fall here, Michael. We still have a mission to complete. Ultima snarled, her fury reignited at the sight of Felway saving Michael. Ultima. You're not getting away this time. She launched herself at them again, but Felway created a barrier, blocking her attack. He grinned through the pain, his eyes gleaming with defiance. Felway. You'll have to try harder than that, Ultima. We still have work to do. With a final surge of energy, Felway and Michael vanished into a portal, leaving Ultima and Rimuru standing in the midst of the wreckage, their enemies gone, for now. Ultima cursed under her breath, her fists clenched tightly. Ultima. Damn it, they got away. Rimuru, still catching his breath from the intense battle, placed a hand on her shoulder. Rimuru. It's not over yet. We'll face them again. And next time, we'll finish this. Ultima nodded, her rage simmering but controlled. She looked at Rimuru, her thoughts flickering back to the past. Her past is Rimuru. Her memories intertwined with this timeline and the last. Ultima. You're right. Next time, they won't escape. And as the dust settled, the two prepared for the next stage of their battle, knowing that the true threat had only just begun.